think friends and family. And if you want to go up the stairs and look at the pictures, help yourself. Have a good time with that. We're here because we have, for the last 8 years, been recognizing athletes, both male and female. We've been recognizing people who have supported the athletic program at Highland School long before this 8 years. Some of you have done the math and have counted that we're in our 61st year of the Highland School District. Every year we recognize 3 or 4 for the Rebel Athletic Hall of Fame. Many of you do not know that we have 30 pictures now on the wall and 78 names on the consideration list. And we get new ones every year that the people on the committee, I never thought of him. I didn't remember she did that. That needs to be considered. And then we have an hour to 3 discussion about what to do. And we have a system of voting, and we believe it works. Not everybody believes that, because you can name names of people that you think should have already been inducted. Just be happy with the 4 we got this year. They seem to be excited and indicated humility. We have a standing joke, not among the committee, but among the inductees, the honorees, that who can say the least the quickest? And who's going to be the one we need to cut off at the knees and say, we got to move on? A few minutes ago, probably about 4, I was summoned. Are you going to get started? And I won't name names. But we do want to give Coach Stowers and Coach Mag a chance to leave and go win a football game here in a little while. But we're glad that you came. Last year when Coach Sterling was being recognized, he brought his whole team to watch. You need to think about doing that again. And Coach Wolf, you could recognize, you could get your basketball guys to come look and see and maybe aspire to getting their name on that list of 78. Make it 88. Stan Mag received the Mike Rogers Citizenship Sportsmanship Award when he graduated in 1983. Wow. Yes, I had him in class. And he was also named All-State in baseball. He played on the winning Rebel basketball and football teams, including the state championship team in 1981. He played baseball at Henderson State University, where he graduated. And then got a job. And then came back to Highland and retired many years later. He worked as a social studies teacher, so this says. Keyword there is work, because he's right across the hall from me. So I came in class and now I have him as a colleague. Yes, I'm really old. Assistant in basketball and baseball. 17 regional championships and 4 state championships in girls golf. 24 years of doing play-by-play football and basketball for KSAR Radio. We'll get to that later. says that his opportunities at Highland allowed his family, and we're glad that they're here, and his friends and himself to have success. Coach Stan Maddox.
That was a long time ago. Even for you, Mr. Carter. This is the first time I've ever followed Mr. Carter speaking anywhere, at any time. Sports banquets he had, he is Mr. Highland.
It's not about me.
I know. Trust me, you won't like this next part. I'm kidding. Thank you so much for the honor, committee. I know it's a tough job. I want to point out the tough job about what I have here is that when I asked Mr. Carter, am I going in as a player, which I didn't think so. Am I going in as a coach or radio announcer? And he went, yes. Only if Mr. Carter can. Yes, Coach Knight. So I'm happy to be here and recipient of this. I do want to mention my family who part left, one got sick, and that's Quentin. He and Allison and Tate had to leave, so sorry they were here. And also recognize Reed and Alexis who moved up here. And I was talking, Alexis is the gold nugget. She really is. She is the cat's me out. She is awesome. And I'm sorry that Quentin had to leave like he did, but I'm proud of both of my young men. They have grown in this area, and Reed has come back and Quentin stayed here. If you didn't know it, Quentin's a state policeman. So you know somebody. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. It's got, yeah, it's B34, but there's a lot of that here. I also want to thank my wife, Angie. It was the first year when we moved up here, she was still finishing up college. She went back and finished. And then Coach Brogdon and Mr. Kimbrell and well, actually, Miss Ballard hired her as a teacher in 4th grade. After 6 weeks, she was an assistant with Miss Jenny Naylor. And she did that and loved it. And as Alexis is to Reed, she is to me. She's the golden nugget. And Coach Brogdon said, hey, you're coaching. And I go, yeah, but if you get rid of me, I'm taking her with me. Well, you're good. But being a coach's wife is tough. And it's a lot of pressure. And I thank you so much, Angie. You're awesome. You're the backbone of the family, and you're just a pretty cool person. And so Henry's sitting there in the wrap, and he's a pretty cool person too. But going back to my time at Highland, it seems like 30 or 41 years ago, which it was, we had some great coaches here, Coach Trosh, Coach Brogdon. I've just, been the mentor to me, and Miss Brogdon being the mentor to you. Again, there's a gold nugget. We've got those in this, and this is what it's about. It's a team effort. No, not a single one of us as coaches or as anyone can get by without a better part. It makes it so much easier when we have that. Talk about some of the teams I coached. Really, girls golf, it was phenomenal. Especially since, honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. And Leslie said it great. Coach Bain was just there to pay the bills. pay for the meals, and I did. But the kids came and got into the youth program that we have here, and it was awesome. David and Neil Webb started the golf program. That was, it flourished and it's still flourishing due to Coach Adam Wolf doing great things. But that doesn't say all about those girls' golf teams. 3 state championships in a row with Leslie, Meredith, Circle, Yancey, and Heidi Schmidt. And honestly, as a coach, Sterling, as a coach, Reed, and Adam, all you had to do was make sure they were on the bus. After that, they were going to take care of business, and they did. Every state championship we won, the 3 in a row, we could have won by any combined score. We played 4 and counted 2 scores. All 3 of them would have won would have won any 2 of them. That's amazing. And it was fun. I can't imagine. And then later on, we won another one, and that was the same thing. They were great kids, and they had support of the community, the golfing community, and they had support also the school. And that came from Mr. Campbell, and it came from Coach Brown. But it started with Mr. Hudson. He taught us how to do that. He taught how we're going to take care of this. And I want to talk for a moment, Richard and 81 state champions that are back here, T-Bone and Robert. I've never seen, Coach Petrosky attest to this, I've never seen anybody more happy at Pulaski Robinson than Mr. Hudson was. He was elated at what had happened. And Jan too. I mean, he loved his sports, and he would listen to him. And what a visionary he was. He really was. And then, as far as teaching, yes, Mr. Carter, I taught. And I learned. And I have Henry, he come up here, I want to talk. And I love the classroom. And again, that goes back to what was expected of us as coaches, was to be teachers too. Not just teachers in the classroom, but teachers about life. And that happened to me. Through my many teachers. He's fine. Hey, come on up. And in closing, Mr. Carter, in closing, I think James Bragg putting me in the booth with you was one of the best things that ever happened to me. For 2 reasons. 1, I have to brag about the kids. 2, when you go and brag somewhere, you eat well. He knows every good restaurant between here and Lively, between here and, not the Wit, it was McGee. Yes, and we would eat. And then, to top things off, when the Cardinals were playing, you could go up and watch a game with him up there. That was the best thing, too. But he also allowed me the opportunity to meet my actual hero, which was Stan Musial. I'll never, ever forget that. And just met him in passing. But Bragg, Mr. Bragg, you are, like all of these things, you put Highland Rebels to people who would not have been able to go game, you put it in your ear or let them listen to it. Thank you for that. Your professionalism is unparalleled. It is great. So with that, I will close and thank you again, committee. I'm proud to be a member of this Highland Rebel Hall of Fame. But more importantly, thank you for this. You're recognizing people that have done things that are good. And that's awesome. Thank you so much.
That was from the 1980s. Now we're going to go backwards to the 1970s. Yes, I had any past it. Graduated in 1976, Billboard. Now a successful two-state realtor, excelling in Highland baseball and basketball, all-district, all-state, another Mike Rogers Citizenship Sportsmanship Award winner. His passion in sports and his work ethic to the point that every other time he went to bat, he got a hit. That's what a 500 would get. There was one game where he struck out 20. Up to 21 he had to face. And we've agreed that when he sent me this, he went ahead and put down that he had scored 50 points in a game. But we know he scored 52 points in that game. He received multiple scholarships in both sports and chose to play 2 years of baseball at Arkansas State University and 2 years at the University of West Alabama. Being surrounded by skilled teammates with coaches who excelled put him in an environment, these are his words, that were second to none. HHS, Highland School District, thank you, fellow board.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Thanks to everyone participating in this event. It's an honor, and I'm deeply touched. It's humbling. I never thought that I'd be spending it. We had the best. If you go back to the 70s, mid-60s, early 70s, we had it all. We had the administration, we had the teachers, we had the coaches, we had a community that stood behind this school district as strong as possible. We had Mr. and Miss Hudson, we had Mr. and Miss Peters, we had a school board that was comprised of Eagles and Bulldogs. And I'm telling you, they were competitive in business, and they were often at odds politically. But they had one purpose, and that was to make the Highland School District the best school district in the state of Arkansas. No ifs, ands, buts about it. The proof's in the pudding. That North Central accreditation didn't come by chance. Having more than 100 wins and maybe a dozen losses didn't come by chance. The teachers, it was almost like they were taught. Mr. Carter, I don't know that I would have made it through college without his English composition class. I promise. Miss Bassam, Miss Brigade, I've used solving for X in geometry almost every day of my real estate career. And I've got to tell on Coach Trust because I promised earlier that I would. I'm still a little aggravated because my senior year, I decided that I was going to be a teacher's assistant to Coach Trust because I was sure that I would have an hour off. Now, anybody that knows him knows that he is not going to do anything except by the book. It's going to be by the book or else in fundamentals. He said when that bell rings, you're going to be in class, and whenever it's over, you can leave. But you're going to help these students, and you're going to help them. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, took the web test, so with 7th grade, being an assistant, I clipped out physics for college. and left out of the math because of Miss Bassam and Miss Begay. And then you go to the coaches. There hasn't been a time, I don't think. You don't have to be an outstanding athlete in order to be a coach. It's proven over and over. But we were blessed. There was so much talent within our coaching staff. It was unreal. You take Coach Highland. I stood at the top of the circle, shot no telling how many, probably a few thousand shots at the top of the circle trying to beat him in a game of horse. It wasn't going to happen. And if you ever look at his college career, you can see why. Later on, I got to play one-on-one against an All-American in basketball. I completed his block. I stood at the top of the circle and shot those 2 or 3 times before he got on them. And then I did like John Hanson. I went to the bucket hard as I could. So anyhow, and then you had Coach Highland, playing the Canadian Football League. You had Coach McBride, playing with the Twins. You had Coach Bowman, who was there every time I needed somebody. These coaches believed in faith, family, and work ethic. And whenever I say, they were almost like father figures. If I wanted to go in the gym was open. If I needed to pitch during the middle of the summer between games and I could be playing for who knows who, I promise you that Scott Bowman, Stephanie, Coach Bowman, somebody was there with a box of Rawlings RO balls ready to throw between games. And then you have the athletes. These athletes are taught the fundamentals from start to finish. These coaches put the best players on the field. It wasn't PE. They put the best players on the field, and anybody that was on the bench, I promise you they were prepared to fill anybody's spot. I didn't have to wonder whether John Hanson would get the ball down the court. I didn't have to wonder whether Stacey Horton was going to catch my wild pitch. I didn't have to wonder whether Rusty Schultz was going to block that bad bounce, or Roy Coffin was going to turn it up the play. I didn't have to wonder whether Jerry Cochran was going to chase down that fly ball and see if they could hit it center field. I didn't have to wonder whether Gary Golden was going to be in the corner when I got covered up. I didn't have to wonder about anything because these players were prepared. And then we had a school that had tradition. We had students. The community supported us like you wouldn't believe. The community, they got their feelings hurt if their name wasn't in the program for the football game. If you don't believe it, if you were on the side, if you were selling ads and you didn't include somebody, you were in trouble. This award is about all of that. It's not for me, it's for the community. Without you and without the community, none of it would have been possible. Thank you.
Marty Goodwin lettered in football each year he was in high school. Received all district honors his senior year. Was the first Rebel running back to gain 1,000 yards in a season. accumulated approximately over 2,700 yards in his career. When he graduated, in his words, he was blessed to stay in Sharp County, raised his family, and yes, I had him in class and then. Attending church in Ash Flat, owning and operating a business for 35 years, and serving his city and the community around the school district on the city council for 28 years. Marty said that he would be the winner of this record I spoke of earlier because he would be able to just stand up and say thank you and sit back down. If you've ever been in his Bible study, that's not the case. He has plenty to say. He says here on his plaque, biography, strong faith in God, supportive parents, loving wife, fantastic friends. As a proud rebel, he's had the best coaches, teachers, and teammates. Marty Goodwin.
This is pretty cool. I told these guys, my friends and family are over here. I said, I bet anything that happens, probably when we're in here. I don't want to. But, I'm not like these guys. I can't just sit there and wing it, or I'll forget nearly everything I was going to say. So, just a few notes. But on the funny side of this was when y'all know Greg Foreman. They talked about this at church, so I'm counting on what he put up for this. After church, Greg Foreman, who's in the Hall of Fame in K2, he goes, "What sport did you play?" I said, "Football." He goes, "Were you a lineman?" "No, you picked it up." "No, I wasn't." I said, "I was running back." He goes, "Fullback?" I said, "No, I was a back." He tried every way to help me, and it just wasn't working. But this is very neat. You know, the people who got put in there, enshrined already, some are here, scattered around. It's a pretty neat bunch. But this is pretty cool. It says, this is an honor. And whoever put my name up for it, thanks. And whoever gets together and votes, thanks. Thank you. But it's pretty cool. And when Mr. Carter called and told me about it, he said I was put into the academic Hall of Fame. I said, I never dreamed I'd get in it because I still thought it was the school award. I said, I didn't do very good in all the rest of it. He goes, no, that's not the academic. I mean, athletic Hall of Fame. All right, I'm ready. But I was pretty blessed. The whole time I went to school, from 7th grade up, actually one of the best things that ever happened to me and my family was moving here. Who's ever been to Elaine, Arkansas? That's a good spot to be from. Not a good spot to live or to go to school at. But that was a good move. But ever since I got into 7th grade, I remember the first day when Coach Hagan said, all right, all you boys, every boy in the 7th grade, come come outside. We stood out there on the side of the football field. He said, how many of you boys want to play football? And most everybody raised their hand, probably about a third did. He goes, all right, you boys that don't want to play football, get over under the bleachers and start cleaning up trash. Well, that was a good choice right there. I'm glad I decided to play football. But that's what started me. I'm going to brag on my coaches for a while. But Coach Hagan was a good guy, football nut, and if he said, we'll run into that building head first, I'd have done it. And with them old helmets, I would have got knocked silly too. But, later on, he's always telling you how to do this and that. So he always wanted to play hard. So I always liked Coach Hagan. Next in junior high was Coach Hill. And most of the guys my age, remember Coach Hill. In junior high, he was the head coach, but it was still fun. We got to do things, and we always had really good teams back then. Really good. But it was a good time. It got more serious when you got into high school. But, Coach Hill was always a good guy, good coach. Everything about him is great. Coach Crush. At first, I was aggravated because Coach Hagan left. And so here's this new guy who can't even speak Southern English. Oh man. Is he a good man? Good Christian man. And so, like I say, when you go to practice, it was in 10th grade when he really started coaching me and my friends. But he beat the fundamentals in your head. You already thought you knew how to tackle. No, you didn't. You thought you already knew how to block. No, you didn't. You how to catch a ball. You just think you know that since you're a little kid. But you didn't know it the right way. He did. That's why his teams have always been great. Because he's an amazing man and an amazing coach. So, that's my three coaches that put up with me. And now, I was always blessed to have good teammates. Some of them are in here now. When I was in high school, Johnny Sellers was a man. And now I outweigh him by 30 pounds. Coach Dyer said something like, ooh, you still use you on the ball field. I said, do you need a second or third string center? That's what I do now. But for him, I'm so glad as being a Highland football player that they're where they're at right now. That makes me proud. But a lot of the guys that are on the team with me, we're still friends. I see them all the time. We still don't get to hang out because everybody's got their lives and all that stuff. But it's fun. It's good to be from Highland. These guys, all when they graduated, went to college and did great things. I stayed home and married my high school sweetheart. Had a family. We changed for nothing. Very blessed. And I'll stop there. But I want to leave you with 2 words. Some of you have been warned about this already. And it's 2 words that I learned in the 7th grade. And I live by them pretty steadily. If something comes up, I'm quick to say these 2 words. Like Go Rebels, all that, that's great also. But anybody that's my age will understand. You young guys, girls, you won't know what I'm talking about. But if you're my age, these two words are important. Corning sucks.
He actually, I'll tell you, I'm going to tell on him, he actually said, can I say that?
Oh, yeah.
No filter up here, and I'm sitting over there. There's no way to stop it. As you all understand and know, and many of your friends and family people know beyond these right here, the Rebel family of 60 years is cohesive because of all the connections that we have. In our Rebel Athletic Hall of Fame, we have brothers who have been honored. We have a mother and daughter. We have a father and son. We have cousins. We have a husband and wife. Tonight, to break with the way we've always done it, we have a daughter-father, and she's going to introduce him.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm going to keep my introduction pretty brief. When I found out that Dad was voted into the Hall of Fame, I was happy, I was proud, so proud, and I was immediately nervous at how long his acceptance speech would be. Immediately. So we know who's next on the mic. I'll keep it brief. That's right. We're saving it for last. Was expecting that. So I'll keep it brief just by sharing an anecdote that just gives you a little bit of perspective of what helped, shape my dad into the man that he is, and hopefully resonate with everyone in here. Last year, I wrote a letter in support of his nomination, and found out he was nominated, wrote in support of it. And in that letter I actually began with the fact that he had never scored a basket, a run, or a touchdown for the Rebels. He grew up in Black Rock, was a Black Rock Zebra. But the truth is, he really didn't score that many runs or baskets for the Zebras either. Even so, he was blessed to be on the basketball team and on the baseball team. And on those teams, he learned a lot, and that shaped him. In particular, there was a coach that shaped him and meant a lot to him. And I'm sure a lot of you can think in your own lives of a special coach or a special teacher or a mentor that helped you along the way. All of you earlier mentioned those people. And I know also a lot of the people in this room are that coach or that teacher or that mentor for a lot of people. But it was Coach Bryant that took a special interest in him, took a lot of his extra time making sure that he was get to and from practices, to and from ball games. And it wasn't that he was an all-star or even a starter, but sitting all the way farther down the end of the bench than maybe he wanted to, he still learned a lot of lessons and developed some passions, things like rosters and plays and game plans, statistics. My dad can quote that Adam Nicholson had this many tackles or that Tony Porter ran for this many yards. What a lot of you don't realize is that's just scratching the surface. when Mr. Rick Snurley passed away a couple years ago, my dad was talking to me and noted that Rick was a starter on the junior boys team of the so-and-so in the Lawrence County Junior High tournament back in 1900. It goes way back, y'all. So, a lot of life lessons, even a little further down the bench. So, to the coaches, the teachers, thank you for pouring into people like that, because they can become, just like my dad, they can become people that are successful, that are well respected in their community, even Hall of Famers. Congrats, Dad.
What am I going to say? I had Mr. Carter. Guess who's got a technical?
Hello? Hey, we made it. I was all set for Mr. Carter to introduce me. Now, I've been thrown a curveball. I could hit a curveball. I couldn't back in the day. Leslie did leave out one thing, talking about my sports career at Blackhawk and playing basketball and baseball. My friend Rick Tate sitting over here knows it. She didn't say that I played all the sports. Well, that's what we had. We had two. But I was very blessed, as Leslie said, I had a Hall of Fame coach. But I've been very blessed. I have Hall of Fame parents. My second set of parents, who their daughter-in-law is here now. Her husband was my brother that I never had. She's my sister that I never had. And they were Hall of Fame people. I played for a Hall of Fame coach. My mentors in the broadcast business are in Halls of Fame. My first boss, Bill Cade of Walnut Ridge, is in the Arkansas Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Two of my mentors from the state of Missouri, Gerald Shepard, is in the National Radio Hall of Fame, the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and the Missouri Hall of Fame. And my closest mentor in Kennett, Missouri, Charlie Earls, in the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame and the Arkansas Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And I have been so fortunate throughout my career, before I got here, and certainly after getting here, that I have been surrounded by Hall of Fame people. Mr. Tate said one time, he was a teacher, administrator at Sloan Hendricks, and someone was asking him about some of our staff, and he said, well, I can tell you what James Bagger tell you, they're just plain people. That he takes those people and wins the Super Bowl with them every year. And it's all those people, it's you people, that have put me right here. These guys talked about their teammates and the people that surrounded them. Right here, you people are the ones that put me here. Friends, sponsors, love those sponsors. People that listen. I know many of you rarely miss a ball game, but if you did miss it, maybe we were there to bring it to you and tell you the story and hopefully give you a picture of what was going on. I'll tell you a quick story about connections, and these guys have really set it up for me, and we didn't rehearse this. But I came here in the fall of 1987, came to Salem. Football season is underway, so when basketball season starts, it was December, second week of December of 1987, and I come over here to do a Highland Cave City Friday night game. So you can imagine Highland Cave City on a Friday night, and I called Coach Rogan, got boys rosters, Errol Blackstone was the girls coach, got girls rosters, visited with them, and Mr. Carter understood, kept the book, and I had a couple of questions. I called Mr. Carter the day before, he answered my questions. that afternoon, about 2 o'clock, before I come over here, I get a call from Mr. Carter. Did I have what I needed? Yes, sir, I sure do. Looking forward to meeting me, looking forward to me being here. And I thought, that's a nice man. He took time to check on me. Little did I know at that time, that was Mr. Carter being Mr. Carter. And we've been joined together ever since. And I'll have more about that. But I come over here, and to this day, and I shared this with Jeremy a few weeks ago, I didn't think anything about this being planned, but as I look back on it now, I have the feeling it was. I walk in, John A. River, and who's the first person that meets me, shakes my hand, and it's Mr. Hudson. Well, I told you about my second set of parents. He was from Indian Shade, longtime school administrator in Arkansas, Missouri. He and Mr. Hudson went to Arkansas State together. He was from Indian Shade originally, and they had known each other basically all their lives. They had started out as coaches, wound up as administrators. So here's the first man that I meet at Highland, and he was so nice to me and thanked me for being here and hoped that I would come back. I take 2 steps, and who do I meet? Mr. Kimball. Same thing. And everywhere, if you know anything about our radio stations, we are closely associated with all the schools because we try to be a pulse in the community, and the school, which we all know, is the pulse of that community. So we're joined together. Mr. Kimball was so nice. I meet Coach Brogdon, I meet Coach Blackston. I can't take too many steps, and I won't meet Miss B. And everyone was just so very nice to me. And when I left, every one of these people come up, shake my hand, thank you for being here, and not only we hope you come back, when are you coming back? And needless to say, we came back to the point, we purchased the radio station here, started doing all the ball games. That was 1988, and we're still doing it, and darn proud to be doing it, and the association with this school. I can tell you, in going out on the road, that I've shared this with many of you, the reputation of this school is second to none. It didn't matter, we're going to Gosnell, we're going to Valley View, wherever it might take us. Even people would come to the point, this has happened more times than one, you know, it's nice to play at home, but we love it up there so much, and we think so much of that school. What could we do up there? Could we move up? We'd just like to be up there. We'd like for our kids to be in that school. And I can remember the first time Highland came to Black Rock, 1966, and the thing that stands out most, I thought everybody was 6'7" taller, but they had those red tops, had those gray trunks. I've never seen red and gray. And lesson was, we used to play games, going to ball games, putting on these colorful, what this school, if they were green and orange or blue and red, you know, combinations that you don't normally see. And I remember that red and gray and how that stood out and thinking, that's classic. And then broadcasting, being a part of this school district, just the uniforms, and those buses, and that rebel pride on that bus, and for me personally, the pride that gave me. Now, being from here, but you made me feel like I was from here from day one, and I've been very blessed for that. All of you people have been so kind to me and to my family, kind to our business and supporting us, that I could never say thank you enough. People ask about, you do these ball games, you like that? I said, well, you know, I told Coach Sam Hill this morning, I said, you spend your balls with Sam Hill, Clay Williams, Dale Scroby, Marty Neinmeyer, Spencer Hill, Adam Carter. How could, John Sinclair, how could you not like it? And then you go from that to Lonnie Brogdon, John Hanson, Harlan Davis, who Harlan Davis coached 2 games here that I didn't broadcast. How could you not like it? And then I get to come back with Coach Neinmeyer in the spring. And all of you people, again, in meeting you and so many of you that non-business people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. I got to meet you through this school and through sports. And again, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you without you. These guys have their teammates, as far as I'm concerned, right here is my teammates. Then fortunately for me, and I say fortunate because when the decision was made to start the Rebel Booster Club, I wanted to be involved because if it was Highland sports, I wanted to be a part of it, never knowing that I was going to be as involved as I was. But I took pride in that. I wanted that. I wanted that position. Never thought about it until I got elected as the first president. And again, all of you people, how you stepped up, the officers that we had, and how they worked so diligently. The late Robert Roberts, we made him the sales manager. And as you hear to this day, the work that Robert has done, all of these sponsorships you see here at that football field, and all of those signs that you see at a golf tournament, that's Robert Roberts. He made that possible. But you made it possible by those sponsorships. And the Rebel Booster Club, we're a year into it, and I'm getting calls from Valley View, Oklahoma, Truman, et cetera, how in the world do you all do what you do? You just started. Well, it's because of our community. You people, supporting the school, supporting these student athletes. What do I need to do? Monetarily, I'll buy sponsorship. You need a donation, I'll buy that. But you need ushers for the state tournament. You need people to cook hamburgers. You need people to clean up. Everybody's stepping up. And again, you can go look in the mirror tonight, pat yourself on the back for a job well done. All of the superintendents here, I mentioned Mr. Hudson, Mr. Kimball, of course, Coach Brockman, unparalleled support. James Floyd, I get a call from Mr. Floyd, Mr. Floyd, we started the Booster Club right at the end of Coach Brockman's tenure, but I get a call from Mr. Floyd one day, and he says, would you come up to my office? And I'm 55, 58 years old, but when the superintendent tells you to come to his office, I'm like, yes, sir. I'll be right there. What does he want? What does the press box need? Well, we can, no, not, what does it need? You make a list. If you're going to build a press box, what we can do, you get it to me. So I go back, do my homework, bring it back to him. 3 months later, Scott Brewer calls me and says, come up to the school. We're going to the press box. There it is. It's laid out. Now, the other part of that story is, I had already in my mind, and not told anyone, including Coach Mag, I'm done. I'm not doing sports anymore. I've got other things I have to do. And because of Coach Mag and Dennis Burton and Robert Roberts, in me, those guys much more prepared, much better than me. So Scott gives me the key. I go up there, and quite frankly, I had my moment, my last moment of that football press box. But here's everything that I'd asked for. And then from Mr. Floyd to Tracy Webb to Don Sharp, and certainly to Jeremy Lewis, unparalleled support as far as the Booster Club and as far as us for the radio station. Because of that, I'm here very humble, very appreciative, and I couldn't say thank you enough. And for what it means to me to be going in with Coach Mag, we only spent 20 years together in the football booth, and as he told you, we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We love those road trips.